As I made clear at the weekend, following the horrendous scenes that we saw in Charlottesville, I absolutely abhor the racism, the hatred and the violence that we've seen portrayed by these groups. The United Kingdom has taken action to ban far-right groups here. We've prescribed certain far-right groups here in the United Kingdom. And there's no equivalence, I see no equivalence, between those who propound fascist views and those who oppose them.
Well, open up your eyes, woman, because it's quite easy to see that the horseshoe effect has taken place here. They are just basically two sides of the same coin. But first, let's go again into what fascism really is. Fascism is when you control the means of production through regulation in a system which is called the corporate state. And then you protect this corporate state with something called economic nationalism, which is when the state tells the industries what they can and can't import and export. But don't take my word for it. People realise that fascism stands for the introduction of a corporate state. Many have a very hazy idea of what this is, how it is to be brought about, and in what manner it will function. So as this is the first paragraph on the first page of his book, I think it's safe to say that the corporate state is the pith of fascism. So now the question is, what is the corporate state? By the corporate state, fascists mean an ordered system working on the principles of cooperation under the guidance of experts. Today, we contend the economic life of this country is unplanned, that it is opportunistic, that it lives from day to day and has no long-term policy. We do not operate for one class or section of our community, of manufacture or distribution, will be marshalled and coordinated to serve an end of the nation. In the same way that the production of goods will be according to a schedule, so will imports and exports. It will be impossible to allow traders of Britain to import and to export goods as they desire, for such freedom would ruin the planned economy. Now let's look at who is opposing them. Antifa. Now Antifa don't just support opposing Nazis, they are also anarcho-communists, which can be easily seen with their many slogans that incorporate the red and black flag of anarcho-communism. Now there are some equivocations between fascism and communism. First, they both infringe on people's liberty, which is pointed out by Oswald Mosley when he throws the ad hominem tu quoque fallacy on page 51 of Fascists for the Millions. The chief criticism of fascism, based on the allegation that it is an infringement of the liberty of the people and that it intends to set up a harsh, cruel dictatorship, comes curiously enough from the communists. They pose as the champions of the working classes and hold up fascists as oppressors or reactionaries. The fascists will take your liberty from you, say the communists. They will expose you to terrorism, cast you into concentration camps, and then the communists, in their next peroration, will tell the working class that they are nothing but wage slaves, with nothing to lose but their chains. To take liberty from slaves is a task that not even fascists can perform. They are both also anti-freedom of speech when yet again Oswald Mosley has to retreat to another ad hominem tu quoque fallacy in order to defend criticisms that they want a dictatorship. Why should the communists complain that the fascists want to set up a dictatorship? They do not oppose the principle of dictatorship. Indeed, it is accepted as part of their fundamental political system. Communists jibe at capitalists who, they allege, control the press and the schools. Are we to assume that there is no control of the press in Russia and no control of the schools? Are Russian teachers at liberty to teach whatever they like, and the press to print whatever they please? Of course not. The communists believe in a controlled press, controlled propaganda, and a dictatorship. All that they object to is the control being exercised by the other fellow. They want to be dictators themselves. Now I know what people are going to say. These aren't anarcho-communists. But it's not like these anarcho-communists are pro-listening or talking at these free speech rallies.
Oh shit, he's bleeding. Yo.
They are both on the left side of the political scale. There seems to be no question on whether communism is on the left side of the political scale, but to prove that fascism is on the left, now I could go on all day, but I think 3 is good enough. So let's just play the rest of the video.
And I think it is important for all those in positions of responsibility to condemn far-right views wherever we hear them.
But you didn't call out Donald Trump. Let's get this straight. Donald Trump shocks the entire world by drawing a moral equivalency between white supremacists, neo-Nazis and counter-protesters standing against fascism and hate, and Theresa May refuses to condemn him.
Now, have you seen what he has done here? He started with that Theresa May refused to call out Donald Trump, and then changed it, as the statement goes on, to that she has refused to condemn him. Let's play it again.
But you didn't call out Donald Trump. Let's get this straight. Donald Trump shocks the entire world by drawing a moral equivalency between white supremacists, neo-Nazis and counter-protesters standing against fascism and hate, and Theresa May refuses to condemn him.
But she has condemned Donald Trump because she's totally disagreed with him, and wrongfully so. There is equivalencies between them and the people that they oppose.
Trump the man. She refuses to condemn a man who thinks torch-bearing fascists in Nazi uniforms can be fine people.
What a lie. He has condemned both sides. You have just said that he has made a moral equivalence. So he thinks that both sides are as bad as each other. Can you see what he's doing here? He's trying to change it to Trump supports alt-right and neo-Nazis.
By refusing to condemn Trump, and I mean actually condemn Trump the man, not just the statement of the obvious we've seen from her so far, where she carefully avoids the very mention of Trump's name.
And you're not condemning him either. All you've done is made a Donald Trump straw man, and then condemned this Donald Trump straw man, rather than the man himself.
Theresa May's again shamed our country in the eyes of the world. She doesn't speak for the people in this country.
Yes, she does. She's been elected in.
She doesn't share our values. We fight bullies and fascism.
We also have a history of fighting communism. We went through this period called the Cold War.
We're not afraid to speak out against it and condemn anyone who supports or defends it, especially if that person is the leader of the free world.
When has Donald Trump defended that the means of production should be controlled through regulation? He seemed to be against the European Union, who control the means of production through regulation.
We call out racism and hate, and we do it unambiguously. We fight fascists and racists. We're not afraid to speak out against injustice and abuses of human rights, and we're always ready and willing to fight for those who can't defend themselves.
They look like they can defend themselves, with their bottles filled with concrete, their tear gas, with their bite locks.
Oh shit, he's bleeding. Yo. Hey, man, he's bleeding. Hard.
Because that's who we are. It's Theresa May who wants to hold hands with Donald Trump, not the people of this country.
It's really funny this, because the last time I checked, more people supported Trump coming for a state visit than just thought it should be cancelled. When you say people of this country, what you really mean is you and your ilk.
It's Theresa May who wants to be friends with head-chopping Saudi dictators, not the people of this country. She does not share our values, and she most definitely does not speak for us.